What's up, everyone, and welcome to Cracker. Wanted to give a couple updates on the house situation. People have been asking, so I figured I'd tell you. And a friend of mine wants to see my key issues, which I told him I have to kind of put that episode on hold, which I've done before, but I've gotten a lot more key issues since I did the last video, like a couple of years ago or something like that. But I have a lot of key issues, and it's going to take a long time to show that if I make a video. Or it's going to be many parts or just many episodes. And quite honestly, I told him, I was like, I just really don't have the time right now because the house situation and just really busy. But I will show an issue that's a key issue that most people don't even know it's a key issue. They pass it by and they're like, whatever, it was a good book, but they don't really realize that it's a key issue. Let me show you what it is, and I'll explain the house thing as I go along. But this is a key issue. This is X-Men number 8. Now, a lot of people ask, why is this a key issue? Like I said, most people don't even know it's a key issue. In a way. I mean, it's not a huge key issue, but it's something. Anyway, you know what, let me show you this thing, and then I'll tell you the house thing, because that would just make more sense to go into the whole thing. I'm going to show you why it's a key issue. Number one, it is a key issue, as I show you, because it's the first time, well, not the first time, but it's not the first appearance of Bishop, but it's the first time he joins the X-Men, or is finally a member of the team. As you can see, Storm is welcoming him to the Gold Team. So there's that. The other thing that makes this interesting is it's the first time Gambit is called by his... Oh, okay. Oops, I want to show you Arnold there. Gambit is called by his real name. As you can see on the bottom, he says LeBeau. And then Gambit basically says it's not nice calling somebody their name unless they, without their permission, basically, up there. So it's the first time Gambit's name is revealed. Well, at least part of it, anyway. That, and there was one other, well, actually, there's quite a few other things in here. Let me see where it is. I don't remember if his first name is in this, if they say his first name. I know they say his last name. But, yeah, I can't remember if his first name's in here. Might be. But anyway, the other reason it's a key issue, I'm not going to go crazy looking for it, is it's the first appearance, I believe, of Gambit's wife, Belladonna. And the real reason this is a huge key issue, that most people didn't even notice. But besides those things, if I can get to the page, here it is. The real reason this book stands out above all the other books as a key issue is it's got an appearance by Pikachu. As you can see, it's on Psylocke right there. It's a Pikachu. And of course, she's showing her giant Psylocke boobs, but she's got a Pikachu on there. So that is the reason it's a key issue. I'm kidding. Well, at least it looks kind of like a Pikachu. But anyway, so yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first appearance of his wife that I've ever seen. So it's the first time Gambit's called by his name. It's when Bishop becomes an X-Man. It is the first time Gambit's name is used. So there's a key issue. X-Men number 8. Again, my friends, I know they used to see it in the quarter bin in the past. I don't know what the... Hey, technically it's a key issue. Alrighty, moving on to the house business, because people, like I said, have been asking, how's it going? How, you find anything? We went on a marathon hunt today. Basically, that's why it's all nice and dark. We were really busy. We looked at 32 houses, broke it down. We got up very early in the morning, around like 5:30, 6 o'clock, give or take. We met our new real estate guy, and we sent him a list that we looked at all the houses that were in our price range and the areas that we kind of knew about, and we said this is what we want to see, because we're running out of time, we're running out of options, and every single house we seem to want to go after, it miraculously is already sold, or whatever it is. So this guy went through the entire list. We had more than 30, but he filed it down to the ones that were actually still available, and we went nuts. We kept going through each one, and he was pretty well organized. He had the list of the stuff, and he would put a check mark if it was something we wanted to keep on the list, and if we really didn't like the house, he would just cross it off, and that would be that. We narrowed it down to 3 houses that we liked, and there's Gizmo causing a ruckus. Where you going, Giz? He's fast. Found 3 houses that we liked. He's actually playing with a, what the hell is it, 24-pack, 12-pack, I'm sorry, 12-pack of Coke. Not the drug, the soda. He, likes the boxes. But, hey, Giz. 1 second. Here you go. He likes crumpled pieces of paper, too, so you gotta throw it for him when he comes around. Go get it. Sorry. Anyway, narrowed down 3 houses we liked. The first house was actually quite nice. The inside was really cool. The outside wasn't bad. It was kind of like a weird backyard, though. It had like a chain link fence that was really low. Probably like my waist. I'm 6 feet, so it was up to my waist. Well, a little lower than my waist. And I was like, you know, I don't know. It just didn't look all that great. It wasn't like this, you know, kick-ass fence. But that was like, you know, nothing. That can always be changed. And my fiance liked it, but the problem that we decided to take off the list was the driveway. Was basically, like, here's the street. The driveway actually went down like this, and then it went like that into the... There was no garage, but like with the front of the house. So it was like this slope that went like that, and the real estate guy parked in there. He went in the driveway, and he could almost not get out of the driveway. He's like, this is insane. He had to rev it up to the part of the slope, get the back wheels up, and just floor it, and like almost like fly out of the thing. And I was like, well, now we know why it's been up for sale for so long. So we were looking at it, we're like, all right, well, we'll keep it on the list because we don't know if that's the only problem, then we just won't park on our driveway, which sucks. But so we were going down. We found another one that we liked that I actually thought was amazing. It had four rooms, a bonus room. It had a nice sized living room. It had a dining room. It had the kitchen wasn't bad, but my fiance wasn't too thrilled with the kitchen. And then I made the point that the way the dining room is, you can knock the wall down and you can expand the kitchen if you really wanted to. So she kind of liked that idea. She's like, oh, you know, I was like, and plus the dining room was big enough. I was like, you could put like things in there rather than putting in the kitchen. Like, I was like, you could put like a china cabinet, you know, all sorts of things you can go ahead and do. So I was trying to not convince her just to look at the house, but like to look at it for what it could be, not for what it really is. Other than if it had flaws. I'm like, if it had flaws, you got to point them out. And the backyard wasn't bad. It was actually pretty cool. It had a deck. A nice sized deck, and then next to it, it had like a piece of like concrete, like a slab, and then above the slab was like an awning. So you kind of had like a deck, and then there was like another like spot where you can make like a screen house kind of thing. And then the backyard was pretty big. It was fenced, you know, and the rooms weren't bad. The rooms were actually about the size. Well, one of the rooms was a little bigger than my cave upstairs, which you'll see or haven't seen. It's pretty big. And the master bedroom was pretty damn big. But my fiancée, of course, found problems. She didn't like the colors. That's another thing like I kept saying. I was like, that can be changed. Like the master bathroom was just like this blood red. It looked like they had like a fetish with like red and black. It looked like Satan's house in a way. You know, like everything had to be red and black. Like the walls were all red. The floor, you know, was like red tile in certain spots. It was... And I kept saying, I was like, we can change that. We can change all that. And it was funny because in the actual agreement thing, it says that their red tile was coming with them. So I'm like, well, at least that takes that out of the way. But it had a pretty cool bonus room that actually went onto the deck, which was pretty cool. That was one I liked. I mean, it was actually cheaper than the one out of the 3. The first one we saw was a little bit over our price range, but the guy was saying you can negotiate. This one was a little below our price range. So the guy's like, oh, you know, it's kind of right there. You can kind of negotiate. If you wanted to get a fridge, you can see if you can buy it from them and all these things. And the third house we saw, which I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but third house we saw wasn't too bad. It was a corner house, but it was like on an angle rather than like sometimes you get a corner house, you know, you have the whole corner, and you like the house is facing the street, and then it kind of has the windows, you know, off to the other side of the street kind of thing. You know, it's like facing. But this thing, it was angled, so it was like a triangle. Like the back of the house was here, and then the front was like facing this way. And across the street it had a pond, which wasn't all that great. I mean, it looked like like that thing from Creepshow when that thing comes out of the water where it says "Do not swim," and you know, kind of looked like that. But it had that, and the backyard was just a piece of shit. The backyard was like 4 giant pine trees sticking. Oh, there's the wife. She's probably telling me how she wants to go forward with things. But with the house, because we kind of made our decision, but we're still thinking on it. But anyway, the backyard was just rotted out, you know, mud, and there was like 4 pine trees that were like, it looked like like they were making like a coliseum kind of thing, like just straight up, and they were all broken and looked like they were going to come down. The only thing going for it, other than the fact that I guess it was a corner house, which didn't really have that much property for a corner house, was that the neighborhood was actually quite nice and quiet, and the inside of the house and the house itself was all brand new. They redid the outside, the inside was completely new, like everything in there, the walls were new, the ceiling was new, the rug was new, the rooms were all painted new, everything, new toilets, new bed. So my fiance was like, oh yeah, and plus it was about almost $30,000 less than what our budget is. So we're saving 30 grand if we got this house. And she's like, oh, I want it because it's new. I want it because it's new. And we kind of got almost like an argument in front of the real estate guy, which was kind of funny because he's like, I don't mind. This is what happens. Because I liked the second one because it had more stuff to it and you didn't have to really add to it. She liked the third one because it was new, like newer, it had all new stuff. And I said to her, I was like, I know how you are because like the two of us, we've been together for over 13 years. And we know each other, it's better than anybody. And she knows I wanted a house with like space and, and stuff where you don't have to go out of your way to build things. Like I don't have to build an extra bedroom down the line. I don't have to build a deck. I don't have to. It's all right there. Whereas this thing had no backyard, no deck, no place for a grill. The only thing going for it was a pond that looked like it was a sump more than anything else. And I told her, I was like, the inside is nice and it's great, and I have no problem with the inside. I was like, I'm not complaining. I was like, but I know how you are, and I know 2 months from now you're going to say, why did I buy this house? Because we don't have a backyard to sit in. We don't have a porch. There's no deck to sit on. There's nowhere to put a grill, because I know she likes to have barbecues and, invite family over, which is cool. And I was like, you can't do that here. And the way the zoning was for the thing is you couldn't put anything on, because on the right side of the house there was a lot of space, but you're not allowed to put anything there. You can't put a grill there. You can't expand, make a garage or something. You can't put a deck there or anything. You just can't do it. Whereas the other one, you can kind of do what you want, but it already has all the stuff you're looking for. So her main thing was, well, the other one is move-in ready. We can move right in. We can move in tomorrow if we wanted, which is not possible. But she's like, we can do that. There's nothing in there. We just kind of move in, and everything's brand new. And the guy did the negotiation thing, like they can get us a fridge and we can get a washer dryer and all these things. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, that's all well and good. I was like, but again, I know how you are. I know how you're going to be. I know in a month you're going to be like, why did I get this house? Because I can't sit outside. I can't relax and do anything because there's no backyard. There really wasn't. And then the second house, I said, what is, we ruled out the first house. We're like, we don't want that one because of the driveway. Which is honest thing, because down here, when it snows, rarely, but when it does, everything freezes. And trying to get out of that driveway is hard enough without it being frozen. I can only imagine what it would be like if it's frozen. So she's like, I don't want to, mess with that thing. It's not even worth it. And plus, it was more expensive than our budget. So she's like, it's just not even worth, going to. So I had asked her, what is the problem with the second one? Like, what is the big, what's wrong with it? I was like, it's got the space. She's like, oh, well, I don't like I don't like the rugs. I don't like the color of the paint in the bathroom. I don't like the mirror in the bathroom. And I'm like, yeah, but it's all cosmetic stuff. It's all things that can be not easily fixed, but they can be fixed. Not all. I mean, the rugs and stuff like that. If you want to rip up the rugs, that'll cost you. But I know Empire usually has deals where you get one room free or something like that. And I said to her, I was like, everything can't be done at once. I was like, that's true. We just don't have the money to fix everything, change it around all at once. So I kept telling her, I was like, if you go for this one, not that I was really pushing her, because I just really want her to be in a house that she's going to be content with, where she's not going to, oh, why did I buy this house, And I kept telling her that. I was like, don't even think about me. Don't even think about the house I like. I was like, if you had to pick either of the two, I was like, if we're going for the two, I was like, if you had to pick one, I was like, don't worry about money. Don't worry about, anything. I was like, which house would you feel more comfortable living in? I was like, even the second house in the neighborhood wasn't even that bad. It was a one-way street that was like in a court. It was weird. Like, you go in the one way, and you go in the street, and then there was one house next to us, which actually seemed quite nice. Then there was the house we're looking at. Then there was a house next to it. And then across the street was one house, well, two houses, I'm sorry. One house that was getting rebuilt, so it's getting torn down and rebuilt. And the one next to it actually was quite nice. And then there was two other houses, and there was the end of the street. Like, it kind of went like a U, and you would go out the other way. And the driveway was nice. It wasn't on a slant. Had a nice mailbox. It had the bonus room. It had an extra bedroom. It had, everything. But her real reasoning was, I don't like the paint, and I don't like, I don't like the floor in one of them. I don't like the rug. And I'm like, a rug is just, you rip it up, you throw a new one down. It's no big deal. And paint, I mean, honestly, how much can paint cost? But she's like, you got to get good primer because it was like a blood red. It really was. And I told her if worse comes to I'd scrape it off. I just. So we're looking, we're thinking, and we're just thinking over. Which I didn't expect anything less. I told her not to make a decision right away. I want her, like I said, to be happy in the house, and I'm happy with either or. I mean, I personally don't care. I would like the second house because it's just got more stuff to it, and I just think we'd fit better in that one. But hey, I've rambled on enough. It'll be to be continued because she's going to think about it tonight. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, and then we're going to try to see what we want. But yeah, that will do it for this episode because Gizmo's going crazy trying to get the TV again. And thank you all for watching. Appreciate it. And remember, it's not the size of your cave that matters. It's what you have in it. Later.